Is my voice audible? Okay, so today we'll begin with the topic interaction behavior. So after wireframes, in yesterday's class we've discussed about the UX audit, and then today we'll discuss about what is interaction behavior, like how do user behave when they interact with your product or service, like the app that you've designed. So, understanding user behavior is key to finding out how users interact with your product, which means in order to get a deeper understanding about how the user's behavior will be, that means to find out the way how users are interacting with the app that we have designed for, like whether they are clicking on the button and then leading to the uh, detail page, or if not, are they clicking on the banners and then leading to the product detail page. So what are the ways how they are getting the product detail page. So specifically, how much time do they spend using it, like in the app that we've designed, how much time are they spending in each page, and then what how much clicks are there for a particular button, or for a particular CTA call to action, so in the back end, the developers and we'll get the results of the people who have clicked the CTA button, so that we know if this is working or not. If majority of the people are clicking that button, then it means it's working. So the positioning and the placement of the button is also in the right place. So at what point is the user journey, at what point in the user journey do they decide to bounce. So we'll also have to look upon the entire journey of the user in order to understand where are the mm, conversions happening, where are the users are leaving the app. So we need to analyze the entire thing. So analyzing your user's behavior will answer such questions and help you continuously refine your product. So since design is subjective and it keeps on changing, uh, we'll have to continuously refine, we need to continuously iterate the app, like the designs get better and it improves over time when we are um, understanding the user's behavior, and then we are checking out where the users spend most of the time, so we'll give more focus on that area. Don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers. So according to the needs of the users, we must design the product. Understanding user behavior is the foundation of building a great product and an indicator of a good company organization. So first we need to analyze how is the behavior of the users, so that we can get the base of building a great product, and it could be an indicator for a good company organization. Not only does it provide valuable insight about your product, but it also gives you a competitive edge, increases customer retention rates, ensures that you meet customer needs, and takes guesswork out of UX design. So, in UX design, even interaction design is important in consideration to the user behavior, like only if the users are giving a positive uh, feedback, if the positive feedback is only received in the analytics, we can get a better user experience. Then it removes the assumptions, and then we'll understand what are the user needs, because the clicks of a particular button is more, so we understand that this kind of requirement is the user need. And this will also increase the customer retention rate, so it gives a competitive edge. What is user behavior? In the simplest of terms, user behavior refers to the way users interact with a particular product. So what it means, how the user is interacting with the app that we've designed. So to analyze that, there are various metrics that we can use in order to measure the usability, like how user friendly it is and how intuitive design have we made. So the this kind of metrics we'll be seeing. And then there are countless user metrics you can monitor and analyze. So it could be clicks, like how many clicks have the users made for this particular uh, button that leads to the form, or the navigation, the session length, and conversion rate. So how many people have we converted from visitors to regular customers. The ultimate goal of collecting user behavior data is to learn why users behave the way they do. We know that users are behaving in a certain way, like not clicking the actual add to cart button, but they are just window shopping the entire thing. So why are the users behaving in that way? What is the trigger that gets them to act? What is the reason for their inaction? Why are they not clicking the proceed to payment CTA? So we need to collect user behavior data on these. So looking at and understanding user behavior helps answer these questions and more. But how easy is it to really understand and convert gathered information into valuable data? So once we gather the data of how many people have we converted from visitors to regular customers, and then the clicks that the users have made, these kind of metrics, once we understand that, uh, we need to think upon whether we are able to convert this information into user data. So here the answer is it depends on the situation. So here are 7 steps that is needed in order to understand the user behavior. First is to find out deliberate, purposeful action. So first we need to identify the actual action, and then we need to discover the habitual patterns, like how are the users behaving naturally, what kind of actions do they usually take, like the familiarity concept that we discussed in the previous classes. We need to map insights onto the user journey, like the insights that we derived from the previous primary and secondary research. So those insights must be incorporated in the user journey. And we need to fine tune user benefits, like what are the advantages which the user will get. In order to understand the behavior of user better, we need to fine tune the user advantages, and we need to use automation tools. So continuously iterating can improve the design over time. And instead of going with the assumptions and biased data, we need to check for the actual user behavior based on the interviews that we conducted or the usability testing that we did. So this gives the real data about the actual user, so it solves the actual user problems. Seek out deliberate, purposeful action. People love to think they make deliberate choices. They have a plan and go through with it. They know their innermost desires and how to achieve their goals. There are numerous actions that point out how repetitive actions can be used to change behavior. So here, uh, Deliberate choices in the sense it's going to be like a decision which is made after careful thought and consideration. It's not an impulse or a random decision. That decision has to be made it's a purpose after thinking a lot. So people will usually think through a lot and then they decide. So you plan or decide it beforehand, and then it happens on purpose rather by choice. So those kind of decisions people will have a long thought process. So they know what they want the most, and then they know how to achieve their goals, the actual thinking what they are looking for. Okay. So, in terms of UX, how can we say? Uh, Here in deliberate choice, it could be like the thoughtfully planned and implemented decision within the design process. It will aim, like the users will aim to achieve a specific goal or a benefit, and it's actually goal oriented. Here it is driven by clear purpose or objective, such as it could be improving the user engagement or reducing the cognitive load. We should not present too many options to the users. We should minimize the options that we are providing the users so that they could make a thoughtful decision over there. Or we could even guide the users towards a specific action which they are actually aiming for. Like they want to buy they want to purchase a product. Okay, so that is their goal. So we need to guide the users towards achieving that particular goal. And here, as designers, we should also consciously consider various factors and the potential outcomes before the users make a deliberate choice. So it should be user centered, it could be made with the user's needs, behaviors, and preferences in mind while we are designing the app. And here, deliberate choices should be communicated to the users clearly and effectively. It could be either through visual cues, instructions, or any other means as well. And a deliberate choice to streamline a multi step process like a progress bar. It could reduce the user effort, and it could also improve usability. And the next one is discover habitual patterns. So, customers may have kept a part of their reptilian brain. So, here it refers to the established solutions for common design problems that users come to expect and then recognize, leading to more intuitive and efficient interaction. So, whatever they expect, the patterns that are repeated used in different interfaces and platforms will improve the user experience. So that by leveraging these kind of familiar patterns, as designers we can guide the users and we can reduce the cognitive load of the users, and then we can make the interactions more seamless. So this kind of familiarity and recognition in the users, these patterns from the previous experience can make it more easy for them to understand and then interact with the new interfaces as well. So while we are designing the new interface, we need to keep in mind how the existing competitors are actually designed and how the other apps are actually designed, so that this kind of familiar pattern will reduce the mental effort which is required by the user for navigation and interaction. So this could make the experience smoother eventually. And then the standard user interface for creating and accessing accounts is a well established pattern, like logging in and out. This is one example. And then another example of habitual pattern is that breadcrumbs. So I've already shown you how navigation will have like breadcrumbs. So that shows the path to the current page, which is a familiar pattern. And then there is checkout. So the process of finalizing a purchase is a widely recognized pattern. That is how all e-commerce platforms work. And then what could be the advantage of using habitual patterns is that there could be improved user experience, which means familiar patterns can make the interface easier to use and more intuitive. So this could increase the efficiency, like users can perform tasks more quickly and easily. Maps insight onto user journey. Here users don't always know why they are memorized by a product, but they do know how they react when they see it. So user journey mapping actually involves visualizing a user's experience as they interact with a product or service to achieve a goal. Okay, so that is what user journey means. We know how a particular user's experience will be throughout the product when they are interacting with each and every page. So this will help us in identifying the frustrations of the user. We can understand the user's behavior, and we can even improve the overall user experience. And this is goal oriented, like it focuses on specific user goals like completing a purchase, like they can complete the purchase and then find information, or even they can sign up for a service. And the user focus here is uh, we need to look over the user's perspective, capturing their attention, their actions, what kind of actions are they making, the thoughts, their feelings and the frustrations at each and every stage, like each and every step of their achieving goal. And in user journey there will also be collaboration, like it can be used to communicate what are the user experience throughout the product with the clients when we are explaining, or it can also ensure that all the other designers who are working in that project understands the user's perspective. So here, by identifying and addressing the frustrations of the user, that can actually lead to a more optimistic, like positive and then satisfying user experience. We can bring in that kind of experience only when we are addressing the frustrations of the user. And the insights that we are gaining from the journey mapping, what can we do with that kind of insights? We can inform the product design decisions. So what it could lead to, it could lead to user friendly and intuitive product. And it can also increase the user engagement. Once we understand the user's journey, and the companies, like the products, can actually adjust or modify their interactions and communications to be more relevant and engaging for the user. And this could even increase the conversion rates, like we can optimize the user experience, and the products, the apps can increase conversion rates, and then achieve the business goals. Fine tune user benefits. So users won't be bothered by your product unless it can benefit them in one of the three overarching ways. So user should be taking some advantage from the uh, app that we have designed for. So first it should solve a problem, like the problem that we as users are facing. So if the app is solving that kind of problem and it is addressing the needs of the users, it should also do something to make them feel better, like it should derive some value for them, like it should make them achieve their goal even more faster. So these are the ways how we can uh, make it beneficial for the user. Even with a fully ready product that is currently on the market or about to hit the stores, When you develop customer journey maps, it's worth delving into what customers really want. So first, customer journey map is also like a user journey map only. So in that, before we delve into what the actual customer wants, uh, we should actually look for what are the expectations of the customers, what are their core needs. The needs could be like creating multiple touch points on the user journey map, like what are the places in which the customer will touch in a e-commerce platform for the home page, and in the product listing page what are the touch points. Touch points actually mean like where the user clicks on most. So those are the touch points. Keep it alive all the way through the design process, in the beginning and when developing finer functionalities. So we need to uh, have the key needs of the users in our minds while we are designing the entire app, and then even while we are developing fine the minute functionalities. And to see like even the icons that we are having, those are also the visual cues where the users can click, right? The click rate can also be calculated in those places. To see how a user interacts with a product and find out how about the multiple touch points, put yourself into their shoes. So we need to decide whether we are able to click through what are the clickable elements. We need to first identify that. We need to put ourselves in the user shoe and then go through the app that we have designed. So think from the user's perspective. While you are going through the entire app, are you able to differentiate between what are the things that are clickable and what are the static things? So I've also shown you an example in the previous class, like there could be a miscommunication if there is a primary color CTA kind of thing highlighted for a simple icon which is not clickable. So this is the customer journey map. So it's same like a user journey map only. Here they've explained like the different stages. One is awareness. The first stage is awareness, where the user gets awareness about a particular if it's an e-commerce platform, then he gets aware about that particular platform. Then he considers whether to buy in this platform or switch to other. So what are the options it is available for him to make that purchase happen, and then he decides whether to purchase or not. Then he purchases. So that is the stage where he gets delighted, he feels satisfied. So how is his experience throughout that process? So what process has he gone through? So here the digital touch points would be awareness, wherein you can click on the online advertisements, radio, print news, and then he could also click from an email, like that product would be from an advertisement from other app as well, or it could be digital billboards. And then after he gets awareness about that particular app or product, then he considers whether to buy it or not. Like it could be website, blog, third party site. So he considers the those options, and then he makes a purchase. So it could be uh, an e-commerce purchase or direct in-store pickup. So these are the options which he has that he can make. These are also the physical touch points, in-store and act agent. Then the retention, like uh, chat, community, social media, and here the physical touch point could be direct mail. Advocacy is where we can identify whether he's a satisfied customer or not by filling in the survey, the mail response, and then the loyalty programs. Get closer than ever to your customers. So only when we get closer to the customers, we'll understand what are their needs before the customers themselves realize what are their actual needs. The questions we can ask about users experience during their journey are literally endless. So there could be a lot of questions which we can ask about a user when they are experiencing the product, but each question that we ask should provide an insight that we have to use further in the design process. How can we relate that user need to the design that we are actually creating? Use automation tools. So, the whys behind user behavior stem from the instinctive unconscious processes. Here, use automation. Behavior analytics software consists of sophisticated algorithms that can examine complex interactions between touch points. So, here it could even streamline repetitive tasks, and it can help us, like designers, to focus on the creative aspects of the process. And these tools, like the automation tools, can be used in different stages, like you can use it during the user testing phase or prototyping or even analytics. So this could help us in leading to faster releases, and it could result in more consistency, and there could be decrease in the human error. So user testing, like there is automated usability testing. So it could stimulate it could simulate user interactions, and then we can even find out what are the usability issues over there, or what are the friction points, which means what are the stop points, what is making the user stop app using the app, and what are the interaction gaps. These could be in automated usability testing. And in uh, prototyping, there is also automation involved, like AI powered prototyping is there. You could even use Adobe Firefly or UiZard. Tools like these can help us generate wireframes, UI components, and even sometimes prototypes. So this will help us in accelerating the design to development process. And when it comes to data analysis and insights, we have user analytics. Like there are AI powered tools that will help us in analyzing the user behavior, and there are heat maps or interactions that could provide insights for data driven or design decisions. And even for research, when it comes to we can use the tools that can automate the process of recruiting participants for research studies. So instead of asking the users to come and join in for the user research in order to get the user persona done, we can just use the automated process, wherein we can screen schedule and send reminder emails, or we can just use AI like ChatGPT. Even those can provide the user insights. So iterate, we need not underestimate the value of feedback. Once we receive the feedback either by client or from the user through usability testing, those feedbacks can be incorporated in the design. So it should be the feedback, majority of the feedback that we are receiving from the users. So based on that, we can even introduce some features, or like we saw, we can get the analytics data from the users and then incorporate them in the design that we create. Feedback from software problems or form in interactions, for instance, contains tons of value packed data. So we know it can help us in fine tuning the journey map, the entire business goals, and then we can also improve the products that we have designed. So this iteration process is not only helping us improve the design, but also it can improve the business goal, like what is the actual need, like what is the actual problem we are solving. We can just refine and fine tune that. and we should not assume like we should not get the user's perception, uh, just go along with the biased um thoughts. Rather, we should actually analyze what is the user's feeling and what is the user's need. Based on that, we need to work on the actual data. We can actually analyze the emotion driven KPIs and observations behind the action. So what matters is the user's perception. So how is the user actually understanding the app? Based on that data only, we need to focus on designing. So you need to be focused on how user perceives the product. So collecting data at multiple research and product development stages is one way of uh, fighting against the biased research. And also how we can avoid biased decisions is uh, prioritizing the user research that we made, like the user interviews that we conducted, and the insights that we derived from the research, primary and secondary research as well. Okay, so these things will help us avoid the biased decisions, and we need to depend on uh, we should not depend on the assumptions that we are making. So we need to gather the actual user data through research testing. Like even usability testing helps us in getting the actual user feedback. And analytics will also help us provide a accurate understanding of what are the user needs and behaviors. And why do we need to avoid assumptions is because assumptions can lead to uh, false kind of understanding of user needs, which will actually overlook valuable insights and opportunities in order to enhance the user experience. And it will also lead to poor user experience, like it could result to the user experience that actually won't align with the actual user behaviors, and it could lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. How can we avoid assumptions is by conducting the user research. Like once we conduct the user interview, survey, and usability testing, we can get the first hand data from the users itself. And data analytics is one way how we can avoid assumptions. We can track the user behavior through website analytics and app analytics in order to identify what are the patterns and trends that are actually taking place. And also we can do the user testing, like we need to observe how the users are interacting with the design in order to gain insights into their actions and challenges. So by continuously collecting user feedback and adjusting the design based on the data gathered, we can even avoid assumptions. So we need to regularly question the assumptions that we are making and then find some evidence to support them. Okay, that is the most important point. So we'll begin with the interaction principles in the next class. And have you got the laptop? Have you worked on the case study? What is the progress?
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, forgive me for my voice. But I've started my information architect right now. So I can show you my user interface, which I already created for my project right now.
Yes, yes, you
Can
can
I
show.
show you now?
Yeah, present it.
Okay, I will join from my computer.
Okay.
Give me a few minutes.